Good evening, everyone. I would like to call to order the Governing Board meeting of August 25, 2012. Welcome to everyone. We will have the Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Campbell, will you lead us in that?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
This is the August meeting and the September meeting.
We have one substitute tonight. Mary O'Connor is sitting in for Vice Chancellor Stephen Helfgott. Welcome. This is the time for the citizens interim. The board offers opportunity for members of the public to address the governing board. In compliance with the open meeting law, the governing board will neither discuss nor take action on issues raised during this portion of the agenda. When necessary, issues will be taken under advisement and placed on a subsequent agenda. We have one request to speak from Andrew Kuhn of the Associated Students of Mesa Community College.
Honorable board members, members of the CE, Chancellor Gasper, members of the audience. My name is Andrew Kuhn. I'm the current president of the Associated Students of Mesa Community College. On behalf of ASMCC, I would like to invite all of you to candidate forums on higher education. They are taking place on October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at 6 p.m. the Jack Shell Auditorium at the East Valley Institute of Technology. EVIT is located at 1601 West Main Street in Mesa. The forum is open to everyone, so I'd like you to invite everyone that you think would be interested in this type of event. I also have quarter flyers available if people want to take them, distribute them. I'll also be open to questions at the end of the board meeting.
Thank you. That's a great activity, and you have congressional, legislative, and
on the invitation that you have on the back of there is all of the candidates that have RSVP'd to attend the forum.
Well, I congratulate you. That's a great activity. Help the public to become to know the candidates before the election. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting that the students are taking the initiative. That's great to see.
This is the time for reports from the governing board. Dr. Campbell?
Chairman, I have no report.
Okay. Mr. Lum?
Yes, I went to the National Community College Hispanic Council meeting in Long Beach this week, and I want to thank the board and Dr. Glasper for letting me attend this. It was a really great event. I thought the direction of the program was to help younger administrators learn how to advance and be promoted and move up the system. And had a lot of leaders there teaching them how to do it. Dr. Anasali was part of the leadership there. She did an awesome job. She is the immediate past president. Dr. Harper Marinick is the president-elect, and Chris Bustamante is on the board. So we're all representative, and I'm proud of our staff there. I attended a couple of workshops. I was on a panel there. Dr. Anasali invited me to be on a panel. It was the main reason I attended. But I attended a really good workshop from San Antonio College Honors Academy. In this program, they have this honors program. A student has to have a 3.2 grade average or score high in college entrance exams in math and reading and writing, and they can enter the college Honors Academy. And in the Honors Academy, they take the 4 classes that are required in Texas to go on for your bachelor's, which is history, government, math, and science. And they go in a cohort group. So they started out just having 1 class each, and right now they have 3 classes full of 30 people each in each cohort. It seems like an awesome program. I'm proud of some of our staff that presented there. Dr. Jose Aguilera of Glendale College presented his doctoral dissertation on cultural and leadership styles, which is really good. He's asking several people their leadership styles and how their culture affected their leadership styles, and it brought out a great dissertation and food for thought. And then we had Dr. Jose Cisneros and Karina Controla from Phoenix College presented the impact of immigration policies on students. So we're well represented, and I'm really proud of the faculty who presented there, and we're trying to help each other and help promote people to move up the ladder.
Sarah?
I attended a couple of ribbon-cutting ceremonies in the last few weeks. Scottsdale Community College opened up their hub. I call it video production, but it's more than that. Outstanding facility, and you see some of their tools around the room here tonight. That's going to expand the ability of them to produce some I already have had some very quality productions, but that facility is just going to make an improvement on it. Also, this morning, bright and early, we were in Glendale for the opening of the tennis facility that is open now, both to the students and the public. Good time there. And then a couple weeks ago, Mr. Lum and I went to the law conference that ASBA puts on. I think this is my 15th time I've been there. Anytime you go to a meeting with a couple hundred lawyers, you walk away scared to death. And that was the 15th time I've walked away from that conference scared to death. It's a good conference. It keeps you up on everything from open meeting laws to the new legislative rules that we're required to follow. And it was well attended by all school boards in the state of Arizona and administrators, and well worth our time, I think.
In that, on the website of the Arizona School Board Association, they have all the materials, the handouts, are on the online, so we could get them. They email them to the attendants, but it's also on their website. And I found the materials are actually probably more interested in even most of the workshops. But one particular one was on Penn State, how to avoid that problem, and it goes into great detail about the history of that and avoiding pedophiles in your college. So I thought that was pretty significant. And I invite anybody to open the Arizona School Board Association website. You go to the ASB Law Conference, which is small letters because it's over, and then go to college workshop conference materials, and there's a lot of good reading there.
I attended the Equity Conference last Saturday here at Rio Salado College. Heard some good speakers. Mr. Starr and I attended a forum called Mesa Counts on College. It's a program that involves the city of Mesa, public schools, and Mesa Community College to help students be successful in college. And the idea is for them to work together to help students succeed. Also attended an audit committee. We had an Arizona Association of District Governing Board members meeting, and I will report on that in a bit. But then Mr. Lum and I had a very enjoyable experience being on a screening committee. For some strange reason, our assistant, Gloria Smith, wants to retire. I can't imagine why she would want to do that, but she is going to retire. So Mr. Lum and I were able to sit on a screening committee to look at candidates to replace her. And I would like to introduce you to Christina Emmons in the back of the room. Christina, would you stand up? In some weeks, Christina will be taking Gloria's place. I want to say thanks to Gloria for all these years of service, and we will say thanks again at another time. Internal Community, Dr. Glasper.
Mr. Burke, members of the board, before I make some brief comments, I would just like to say that Gloria will be with us through June 30, and we are going to make sure we take every advantage of her experience and her skills during that period of time, so that maybe at the end she will say, don't go, don't go. At the last meeting, I had an opportunity to speak to you about three commissions or groups that I was on in terms of my visits to Washington. I want to give you just a brief update and just share with you just some of my thoughts. For the last 6 or almost 8 months or so, I've been sitting on the Commission on Attainment. And we have had an opportunity to look at the President's charge to increase the number of degrees and certificates by the year 2020. In fact, we're trying to move to an adoption, and the Board has adopted a resolution consistent with the American Association of Community Colleges to increase the certificates and degrees by 50%. So the Commission was put together by what they describe as the Big Six, and the Big Six are the major higher education institutions that are serviced around DuPont Circle in D.C., and I was representing AACC. But what I want to share with you is that we're in the final stages of writing a draft report that will be finalized in early January on whether or not it's possible for us to attain this goal. With declining resources, that's one challenge, but we're also talking about how do we adopt some recommendations that are both sustainable and scalable throughout our system. In our last meeting in D.C. about a week or so ago, we had an opportunity to have a presentation by a gentleman by the name of Louis Soares. You might be familiar with Louis because he did some presentations for the Chancellor's Executive Council and the Board around disruptive innovation. But at this meeting, he was talking about what he describes as a traditional student and a post-traditional student. Post-traditional students are the students, and he described a student by the name of Tiffany. And as he was describing Tiffany as a person who works part-time, who takes less than 6 hours, who has taken one or more developmental ed courses and has been somewhat unsuccessful because she's trying to take care of her family and her own schooling and financial aid is a challenge. But he described an individual that's 85% of the population that will be needed to address the change that we need to make in the next 8 years or so in order to achieve our goal. And then he described the traditional student. 15% of our students are considered traditional. Those that go on to a 4-year institution or come through our community colleges with the intent to transfer and will move out into the community and into the workforce that don't have the same type of challenges. But I was a little taken back by some of the conversations that we were having at the table because if 85% of the students are the students that we serve, and they make up the majority of the population around the country, unless we have some programs and recommendations that will be both affordable, scalable, sustainable, we are going to have a tough time meeting the challenge in 8 years and even 16 years or more. So I think that the board is on track with the types of recommendations we're looking at for our seamless student experience, and as we're looking at other ways of supporting our student success initiative to try and become a model for change as to how we address that student, and that is with partnerships with the K-12 systems as well as the university systems, but to be able to find our place in this report so that when we talk to faculty, when we ask faculty to get engaged, they can help us figure out how we will traverse this entire journey and to reach our goal. One of the last challenges that I have right now is that I still think the faculty voice is not heard in the report. So we are trying to get more input from faculty. We do have a couple of faculty that have written some documents, and I'm hoping that before we finish the report in January that we will have some voices from faculty. We have had some input from 2 other community college folks that are on the commission. But it is a good opportunity to be at the table. I will be coming back in early spring to talk about the report and to share it with everyone and hope that it will be at least a part of a roadmap that will allow us to move forward and achieve our goal as well. The second was the Commission on the Regulations of Out-of-State Online Education. This is a very onerous regulation that requires any of our colleges, anyone in the U.S., that if they provide online services outside the state of Arizona, that they must register, they must go through another level of bureaucracy, they must pay additional fees, and it brings challenges to our students. Because if for any reason our students choose to start at our institutions and want to go somewhere else in the U.S. because they have moved or they want to have a different relationship or want to stay with us for whatever reason, and we cannot establish that relationship because it's prohibitive, then it's a disadvantage to our student. Rio, as you well know, is our primary online institution. As Dr. Bustamante has done quite a bit of work on this as part of a Western Region Commission, and he has helped to bring a solution to the table that I think will assist us moving forward. So I'll ask Chris to take a few minutes and describe that resolution, because I believe in the next couple of months that this will be a recommended strategy for us to service our students moving forward. Dr. Bustamante?
Yes. President Burke, board members, Chancellor, and guests. Yeah, the effort that the Chancellor refers to is an agreement between the Western Interstate Commission on Higher Ed, or WICHE, the executive director, and an advisory council that I'm also on, and between the Council of State Governments, which is a national group who is in favor of a national compact for colleges relative to this issue of state authorization. The President's Forum, which is a group out of Washington, D.C. that Rio is a part of, that is a consortium of higher education online institutions, both public and private in the country. And then the National Distance Learning Commission that the Chancellor is a member of. And so what the President's Forum and the Council for State Governments and the WICHE Advisory Group were able to do is to come up with what they call a WSERA document, which is a model compact for regional compacts like WICHE. There's a Midwest version of WICHE of several states, also the Southern Board and the Eastern Board. And so we all thought that a regional approach to state authorization would be much easier, since we're so used to dealing with our regional boards and commissions. And we had the most confidence in them, rather than it being a national compact that would be much more difficult to get agreement on. So there is a draft that went before the National Distance Learning Commission that Dr. Glasper and his other commission members heard from the different stakeholders relative to that particular draft. And we think that it is the best solution for higher ed institutions throughout not only the regional areas but throughout the country, because the benefits are that you were able to get approval from a regional compact like WICHE, that you would have reciprocity between each of the compacts. So you wouldn't have to, right now we have to go to every state that we're registered or require us to register in every state that we receive students from. So in Rio's case, it's all 50 states. So you can imagine what a craziness it is to have to go to all 50 states, pay individual fees to register, and then to really come up against a lot more bureaucracy. And this is supposed to really help streamline that process so that the costs are less and the burden is less as well. And a real benefit for students, because they'll have more access to more programs across the states as well. So that's really the hope and the benefit, we think.
Yes.
Improve more access, and we think that it's a good agreement, and we're hopeful that it'll continue to progress through the process.
It's an agreement for Rio, or agreement for the district? Or would each college, if they want to do distance learning, have to do it college by college?
Yeah, Mr. Lum, what it requires is each state that belongs to a compact that wanted to participate would actually have to apply to be a participant member and pass authorizing legislation for that purpose. So any institution like Rio or Mesa or Glendale or PC or others could actually apply to WICHE to operate within that compact and then benefit from reciprocity between
We can't do it as a
states.
district,
Wouldn't do it as a district, would do it as an individual entity, as a college or university.
And one of the reasons we would not do it as a district is that the individuals that are sitting on the commission as well happen to represent the Higher Learning Commission in the different sectors. And we are still separately accredited institutions, so we would have to get the individual sign-ons by each institution. But I share this as an example of ways for us to try to move beyond the bureaucracy. And this was put in place primarily because of some of what I had described at the last meeting as bad actors from the privates. They were trying to stop the privates in many cases, and they're influencing a lot of the publics. But we're moving forward, and we have a resolution that I think will be a part of the final document that comes out in the next couple months. The last one is the American Association of Community Colleges Reframing the American Dream. And I bring them up just to say that this is the implementation team, and we are in the process now of going through the 7 different recommendations. But the primary focus of the recommendations is, again, on the resolution that our board adopted, and that was to increase the number of certificates and degrees by the year 2020. So we're vetting this with approximately 130 implementation team members from around the country, and we'll be coming back with best practices that Maricopa will be able to vet and use in its deliberations as we move forward. So a lot of these are connected in many ways, but I think what I'm also trying to share with you is that the best that's happening is that we have a seat at the table and we're able to influence some national policies as well. Thank you.
Thanks for your work in that area.
Thank you.
Quite a lot of travel on your part.
Yeah, a lot less sleep. I left after the last board meeting. Took a red eye. But it's good. Thank you.
Secretary's report. Mr. Sarr?
None.
Okay. We have a report from Scottsdale Community College, a group of students, and look forward to hearing their report to the board. What?
Come on down. All right. President Burke, members of the board, Chancellor Glasper, members of CEC, and all others present. My name is Therese Tendick, and I'm the director of the Center for Civic and Global Engagement at Scottsdale Community College, and I'm here with Assistant Director Jen Cito. The new Center for Civic and Global Engagement is excited to expand meaningful programs on campus to help SEC students become civically engaged and globally aware citizens of the world. We will help students develop leadership skills through the Student Leadership Forum, our many clubs, over 20 clubs, including the new Latino Student Association and Black Student Union, the Democracy Commitment, and Student Public Policy Forum. We will work with our faculty to help students gain an understanding of their world through such projects as the internationalization of the curriculum, Global Leadership Retreat, and services for international students. And we will continue to support the U.S. Department of State grant, which brings international students into our hospitality and tourism management and filmmaking classes. With collaboration across the campus, the center will directly support the Maricopa Community College District Governing Board's mission statement, focusing on learning through civic responsibility and global engagement. I would now like to allow the students involved in Student Leadership Forum to introduce themselves, ending with our chair, Jessica Combs, who would like to say a few words. I would like to thank you for all of your support in supporting curricular and co-curricular projects which develop our students into civically engaged and globally aware students of the world. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bella Hibbs, and I'm a student at large.
Hi, my name is Arun Sharma. I am a student at large.
Hi, my name is Ali Madad, and I am a student at large.
My name is Francisco Dominguez, and I'm a student at large.
I'm Sophie Collis. I'm a student at large.
Hi, my name is Carly Aguirre, and I am a student at large.
Hello, my name is Miriam Villanueva, and I'm a special events co-manager.
My name is Teresa Sweeney. I'm also a special events co-manager.
My name is Luke Lujan. I'm co-manager of public relations.
Hi, my name is Hannah Lee Rounds, and I'm Vice Chair.
Good evening. Governing Board members, Chancellor Glasper, Vice Chancellors, and Presidents. And of course, a special hello to my favorite President, Dr. Jan Gaylor. Thank you for allowing us a few moments to speak in front of you to highlight the work we will be doing as SCC Student Leadership Forum. I am Jessica Combs, Chair of SLF and a proud graduate of our 2012 Leadership Institute. As part of the recognition that our Student Affairs Division went under this summer, we will, for the first time ever, help with the planning of International Education Week. We aren't exactly sure what that entails, but we're all eager for the new learning experience. Additionally, this fall, we will be planning a number of student-related events. These experiences are central to our development outside of the classroom and allow us to practice and apply these skills that we may have learned inside the classroom. Included in these events are our homecoming Hill RT, play on words there, and also an awareness event that I'm sure you all have heard of, breast cancer awareness for the month of October. This is an awareness event that is very close to our hearts within Student Leadership Forum. I have much more to tell you, but I know our time is up. Thank you for allowing us this audience. Best to you and yours this academic year. And of course, as always, God bless you and America.
Amen.
Well, thanks to all the students for coming. We appreciate hearing the reports about your activities and encourage you. This is one of our goals, and you are making that goal a reality. We appreciate it. Faculty Executive Council report, Harold Crancer.
Good evening. We have no report tonight. Thank you.
Vice Chancellor reports, Maria Harper Maroney.
Mr. Berg, if I may approach the podium and ask my colleagues Anna Soli and Chris Bustamante to join me there. Good evening, Mr. Berg, members of the board, Chancellor, CEC colleagues, and guests. As you heard Mr. Lom mention earlier, last week the National Community College Hispanic Council held its 17th annual symposium in California. As you also heard, the Maricopa Community Colleges have been very engaged in supporting the organization for many years, more than a decade, in many ways, and I will ask my colleague, Dr. Soli, to speak about that. But one of the ways that we've done that is by nominating individuals from our institutions for the fellowship program, which is an attempt to develop professionally leadership skills, as you said, Mr. Lom, to allow people to move in the organization. So I'm very proud to say I am a former fellow, 2003, and we have had, since 2003, 27 individuals from the Maricopa colleges participate in that program. And tonight, many of them are here, those who could make it. So I would like to ask them to please stand to be recognized and celebrated. They represent us very well when they participate. So I would like Dr. Soli to please talk about the organization.
Good evening, Mr. Burke, members of the Governing Board, Chancellor Glasper, colleagues and guests. Again, thank you so much for the tremendous support that you provide for NCCHC. This is a premier organization that is dedicated to educating, training, and developing Latino leaders in community colleges. We are a 27-year young organization. We are an affiliate council of AACC, and as a result of that, there is a lot of support that AACC provides for our activities as well as our initiatives. Last week, we had a wonderful leadership symposium in Long Beach. We're honored that Mr. Lum was a member of the trustee panel. He gave a lot of great advice about the work that Maricopa is doing and the work that he does as a governing board member to certainly support Latino leadership development, because we know know that in the future, many CEOs are going to be retiring, including myself. And I'm not making my formal announcement. But I am encouraging all of these wonderful fellows to consider becoming an executive within the Maricopa Community Colleges. And again, that's the reason that we sponsor the Leadership Symposium. In addition to that, there is other work that our council engages in, and part of that is the Fellows Program. And in a few minutes, I know Maria and Chris, they are fellows. And by the way, once a fellow, always a fellow. They'll talk a little bit more about the fellowship program, but that fellowship program is offered with the support of Cal State Long Beach. And again, we've had about 25 Maricopa fellows. When we were at the symposium last week, we honored our fellows. They graduated from the program. Many of the fellows presented workshops themselves. So it was a very successful symposium. In addition to that, AACC CEO Walter Bumpus was there. So he talked a lot about the American Dream and the 21st Century Community College Initiative. Paul Luna, CEO of Helios Foundation, talked about the importance of leadership and mentorship. In addition to that, we had some other wonderful speakers who were present. One of the other members of the trustee panel was Roberto Uranga, who has made history. He is the first Hispanic Latino trustee to head ACCT, the National Organization for Trustees. So again, it is a history-making organization. And of course, we couldn't do all of the work that we do. We many times work at the midnight hour because we have to get our Maricopa work done, and then we do our other work. But really would like to acknowledge Dr. Glasper for the tremendous support that you provide, and all of you governing board members for allowing us to continue with our passion for growing and developing Latino leaders. So thank you.
I would like to publicly thank Dr. Solly, who served as an outstanding leader for the organization for the last 2 years as the president, and will continue to do so as the past president. And I am honored, as you heard, to have been selected the president-elect. But I don't have to worry about that for another 2 years. Chris, you want to say anything about that?
Well, thank you. I'm actually a 2005 fellow and really benefited from the program. So I encourage the presidents and others to really nominate or to suggest or recommend upcoming leaders that are Latino to participate in the program. And we want to thank, of course, the district and the chancellor and everyone for their support. I'm a new board member, and I am being shepherded by these two wonderful leaders. So the legacy continues of Maricopa being very involved in the program, and it was great to have Mr. Lum's involvement as well this year. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, the employees in this district continue to represent the district well and take responsibility, and we appreciate your involvement in that group. Let's see, college reports. Dr. Sean Pan, Mesa Community College.
Yes, President Burke, members of the board, Chancellor Glasper, CC, colleagues and guests. In responding to the resolution of the board to increase greater student success at our institution, we've been focusing the last few years on student success, particularly for students who come into us underprepared. Our goal is to get more faculty staff involved. I'm encouraged to share with you by our staff. We started a mentoring program. Nothing earth-shattering, but what is exciting, it is many faculty staff, including adjunct part-time individuals, got involved. We are focusing on students who are placed into two developmental courses. We're into the third semester doing this initiative. Initial data is very encouraging. Let me ask Dr. Jenny Felton and faculty member Jennifer Moore to report on the progress. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pan. President Burke, members of the board, Chancellor Glasper, and members of CEC, it's with great honor that we address you tonight with the opportunity to talk about some of the highlights of the Connect for Success program has seen at Mesa Community College. Working together, Dr. Felton and I have seen incredible results, a positive impact an institutionalized mentoring program can have on students enrolled in multiple developmental education courses. Like all colleges, the Maricopa Community College District, Mesa Community College holds student success the highest priority, including students enrolled in multiple developmental education courses. Mesa Community College faculty, staff, and administrators at both the Red Mountain and the Southern and Dobson campus have dedicated countless hours over the last 3 semesters serving at-risk students through this mentorship program, and inspired by Dr. Pan's call to action for a better enhanced, complete educational experience of students enrolled in DevEd courses. The Connect for Success program was created. And developmental education is a much talked about systemic problem affecting colleges across the country, and Maricopa community colleges are not exempt from this challenge. Students enrolled in developmental education courses traditionally do not reach their educational goals at the same rate students enrolled in traditional college-level courses do. The Connect for Success mentoring program helps to combat issues at-risk students face in their first semester, and at this time I'd like to turn some time over to Dr. Janet Felton, who will share additional remarks on the program.
Thank you, Janet. President Burke, members of the Governing Board, Dr. Glasper, CEC members, friends, and community. The Connect for Success Committee at Mesa Community College was quite ambitious with the design and implementation of this particular program. Our goal was to serve our students that were enrolled in math, English, and reading. At this particular time, our cohort consists of those students that are enrolled in math and English. The Connect for Success program is an innovative mentoring program. It's designed to reduce the pipeline and to provide seamless transition for students that are enrolled in developmental education. The guiding tenets that directed the implementation and the planning of this particular program, of course, included increasing the college completion, preparing students for the community, developing an educated and engaged workforce. The program started at Mesa in the fall of 2011 after the call from President Obama in 2009 for the community colleges to increase college completion. Starting the students on a path to academic success by making those connections earlier with that one-on-one mentoring is what the Connect for Success program is all about. I'm sure if you probably reflect on your past, you can recall at least one and probably more individuals that have supported you, guided you, chastised you, motivated you in your professional and personal pathway. So as we seek to strengthen the student persistence and improve college completion, we welcome the opportunity to share our successes and our challenges with our institutions as we move the college completion agenda forward. The faculty and staff and administrators at Mesa Community College was all excited to volunteer, to participate and to serve as mentors and coaches. Most of us enjoy helping others, and that is a part of what being human is all about. Sometimes we don't always know exactly what to do, how to do it, but we know that perhaps if we reach out, that we can make a difference. At this particular point, as educators, it is incumbent upon all of us to do all that we can to ensure the success of those students that pass through our offices, our classrooms, or even on the sidewalk. And the Connect for Success program helps to ensure that those students that come to us in testing and remedial education have those resources that's available to them. So if you would like more information about the program, you can contact Jennifer or myself. We also have a website. It's at mesacc.edu/employees-connect-4-success. So thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening, and I welcome any questions. President Burke.
Yeah, I have heard of this, and as I recall, you have volunteers from different employee groups active in the program. Is that right? Yes, we do. Volunteers are, there's a call that comes out to the college community. They volunteer. They also have to go through a training program before they are assigned a mentor. They're randomly matched with the students. So if I'm in your class, of course, I will not be matched with you because we want to give the students an opportunity to connect with other individuals throughout the college campus. Approximately how many volunteers do you have in the program?
We have volunteers of about 198. I would like to say there's more, but we're increasing. We have about 198 at this particular point. And our cohort this particular semester, and so let me back up, some of the volunteers actually assume 2 and 3 students. And this particular semester, we increased our students the need, so we extended the program to include the Math 092 also. So we have about 305 students that were eligible for the program.
Great. Any other questions?
Does this include advisors and counselors?
Pardon me?
Include advisors and counselors?
It includes anyone throughout the college that goes through the mentoring program. And once they go through the mentoring program, there is a small assessment. As educators, we like to assess. So there is an assessment, and after you go through the assessment, then you are randomly matched. So anyone throughout the college is eligible once they go through the training.
Right. Thanks. Do you have a comment? Well, thank you very much. That's encouraging. I look forward to hearing some reports about your successes.
Thank you.
The external community, I have a report on the Arizona Association of District Governing Board Members. We met last week, and there are two items on our agenda that I want to report about. The college presidents in the 10 districts have been working together to talk about forming an Arizona Community College Coordinating Council. We've not had a state board in a number of years, and so we've been 10 districts dealing with state legislature and the governor. And the college presidents have been working on the possibility of creating a coordinating council that we would do as opposed to having the legislature mandate it to us. That will come to governing boards, perhaps in November, and I just want to alert the governing board that is coming. The second thing we did was to identify February as a date for training new board members and existing board members in the 10 community college districts. And we're trying to put together a program. I'm going to talk to Rio about some room, and we would have that over a 2-day period and perhaps work in some contact with state legislators during that period. ASBA report, Mr. Sarr.
I have some questions on this.
Okay.
Are you talking about a staff council?
The coordinating council?
Yes.
There would be staff.
You have to be paying dues?
There would be, each of the districts would contribute to the coordinating council. They do now among the presidents. Dr. Glasper, there is each of the districts now contribute to your program, is that right?
Yes, Mr. Burke, members of the board, for the last, I would say the last 40 years, the districts have contributed to staff for a number of different reasons, including an executive director, an assistant director, a lobbyist, and support staff. And what we have not had a formal organization as a state association for probably about 4 years now, but we have not had a state board since 2002-03. And because of that, we have lost our seat at the table. There have been decisions made regarding community colleges that did not engage community colleges because we were not part of a state agency. However, what we're trying to do now, we currently have a staff that does our reports. We have a lobbyist that works for all 10 districts, but we're trying to get a voice, someone who is an actual community college administrator, retired, who could spend some time down at the legislature representing each of our institutions. And we want to build an organization that will be responsive to the legislature, but at this particular point, both governors, Governor Napolitano and Governor Brewer, have looked to try and reestablish the State Community College Board. However, there is no funding, and there won't be any funding for a number of years, and we are looking at this as kind of a transition so that we can have a better opportunity in terms of having a seat at the table in regard to community college issues. So we have a proposal that we just discussed last week and putting some final touches on it. We'll be bringing it back to each governing board to consider moving forward.
But it'll be within this organization, Association of Community College Governing Boards.
Yes, sir.
And we put in money, and we currently have a lobbyist and staff on that?
Yes. We currently have, and that individual reports to the Arizona Community College President's Council and previously reported to the Arizona Community College Association, which included the Arizona Association of District Governing Boards and the President's Council, and that was dissolved approximately 3 or 4 years ago. But yes, we currently have a paid lobbyist supported by all 10 districts.
We have,
We have, and have had for the last 40 years.
Any other questions? Did I call on you? Did you have a report?
Yes.
Okay.
As we move through the forest of alphabet soup, ASBA is the Association of School Board members here in Arizona. There are over 220 individual school districts in Arizona. Each of them is governed by a board such as ours. In the last couple of years, the Community College District Board, the 5 of us, have become members of that organization because we understand that if we're ever going to attain the 2020 standards, we've got to make sure that the students that come to us from those schools are well on our way to becoming graduates and certificate holders. So working with this group has been very beneficial. They understand that they've got a job to do, and we understand that as much as we can, we need to help them get that job done. So we're getting ready not only for individual county meetings, but also the annual state meeting coming up in December, where we'll get another opportunity to sit down with other governing board members from the K-12 world and share ideas and thoughts on how we can get these students through the certificates and diplomas as well as we can by 2020.
Great. Thank you. Legislative update. I see none. Is that right? Okay, thank you. And I have an item awards and recognitions, but I don't see any. So we will go on to the agenda. I will consider a motion to approve the order of the agenda.
Second.
All right, Dr. Campbell moves. Mr. Lum seconds a motion to approve the order of the agenda. Let me, before we vote, do we need to call Ms. Pearson now? Mm-hmm. We have one board member who is participating by phone tonight. Ms. Pearson,
yes.
We are starting the the business portion of our meeting, and we have a motion on the floor to approve the agenda.
Thank you.
All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, no. I hear no opposition, so the agenda is approved. The next item is the consent agenda. Does anyone wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Dr. Campbell moves.
Second.
Mr. Starr seconds a motion to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Approved, no. Let's see, opposed, no. Hearing none, the consent agenda is approved unanimously. The next item is consideration of non-consent action items. The first, from Business Services, the approval of a consultant selection for the T1 building remodel at Glendale Community College. Mrs. Thompson?
President Burke, members of the governing board, this is part of our 2004 bond program, and it is a remodeling project for the technology building, and it is for architectural and engineering services to start that work.
I move we approve this motion.
Mr. Lum moves approval.
Second.
Ms. Pearson seconds the motion to approve the consultant selection for the T1 building remodel at Glendale Community College. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. The second item is the approval of a job order contract award for roof replacement and mechanical system upgrades to 3700 North 3rd Avenue with Phoenix College. Ms. Thompson?
President Burke, members of the governing board, this is a building that the district recently purchased for Phoenix College. It will help the college continue its expansion for nursing and workforce development, and a new roof is needed to then proceed with the rest of the remodeling of the facility.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Czar moves.
Second.
Ms. Pearson seconds a motion for the approval of a job order contract for roof replacement and mechanical system upgrades to 3700 North 3rd Avenue for Phoenix College. Any discussion? And all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. The next item is the approval of a remodeling construction contract award Phase 1 for Southern and Price Road for Rio Salado College. Ms. Thompson.
President Burke, members of the governing board, this also is a facility that the district recently purchased for Rio Salado, and it's to renovate the portion of the property that it was the former Michaels Plaza.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I move we pass this motion for Rio Salado College.
Mr. Lum moves to approve.
Second.
Dr. Campbell seconds a motion for the approval of a remodeling construction contract award Phase 1 for Southern and Price Road facilities for Rio Salado College. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, the next item is a report, monitoring reports for the budget. Ms. Thompson.
President Burke, members of the board, this is a report for the first 2 months of this fiscal year, and it is showing that expenditures are at a similar rate of occurrence as in prior years, about 12% of the total budget. Similarly, collection of revenues is about on par with prior years, about 20%, and we do expect a slight increase in fund balance by the end of the year.
Okay. We have 2 meetings in October. The first is, I believe, is it next week? October 2nd? And that will be at the Real Conference Center. And we will be discussing human resource, the strategic overview of human resources. And we have a new Vice Chancellor for Human Resources. There has been a great deal of work this past year in a number of areas of human resources. And I think the public would be interested to hear this report. So I encourage you to be there. And then our next regular board meeting is October 23 here in the boardroom. With that, our meeting is over. Adjourned.